Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
It seems that one couple's child custody dispute has now led to problems for a whole lot of people.
San Antonio police say by the time it was over, there had been a shooting, a car chase, and the destruction of 2 homes.
Katrina Weber reports it also left neighbors near Gillette and Commercial Avenues a bit shaken up.
After a night of little sleep, Morgan Van Sickle got quite the eye-opener. The duplex next door in the 500 block of Gillette was decimated.
It shook the house. And of course, we didn't know what was going on.
He felt vibrations as a pickup just missed his home, taking out his mailbox and more. This morning, he found parts scattered more than 50 yards away. You can tell from the damage here that that truck was definitely on a roll, barreling into this duplex and then shearing off the front of both sides. San Antonio police say the 18-year-old driver was running from them after trouble nearby.
It was essentially an extended family disturbance.
Police say he was with a 19-year-old friend when that man got into a child's custody dispute with his ex. Police say someone took aim with a gun at another man who intervened. He was shot, as I said, 5 times, 2 times in the leg, twice in the buttocks, once in the arm. The shooting victim was rushed to a hospital. So was the driver of the crashed truck.
They pulled him out from underneath that tin and brought him out here, and I thought he was dead.
Meanwhile, police say the father of the baby took off with the child, who later was found safe.
It could have hit the dirt and whoosh, and come that way, you know, yeah.
Van Sickle is amazed he's safe too, after all that happened. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Other top stories we are following this noon. Police searched for a suspect after a shooting, but came up empty. And this noon, there's still no sign of that person.
According to officers, the shooting happened during a robbery attempt on the city's east side. The victim told police that he and his girlfriend were walking in an alley behind an H-E-B in the 1000 block of South W.W. White Road just after midnight. That's when police say a suspect with a gun walked up to the couple and demanded money. One of the victims swatted the gun that was in the suspect's hand, and that's when the gun went off, hitting the victim in his leg. The suspect ran off. Police tried to track him down, but so far they have not found him. Police are still looking for a driver after officers say he hit a motorcyclist, all while the man was just feet from his own home. According to police, that motorcyclist was driving into the driveway of the 300 block of Hotwells just before 2:30 this morning. Another driver hit him and kept on driving. The motorcyclist was hurt. Police say the foot peg on the bike went through his knee.
Now to the coronavirus pandemic here in Bexar County. 15 more contracted the virus and 2 more people have died after getting diagnosed with COVID-19.
In addition, 632 backlogged cases and 160 deaths have been added to the county's all-time total. According to the latest update, 291 people remain hospitalized, 123 patients are in the ICU, and 68 people are on ventilators.
President Biden's nearly $2 trillion COVID relief bill will head back to the House for a vote this week after passing the Senate.
It was a partisan debate. Now experts are warning about the loosening of coronavirus restrictions in some states. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze has the latest.
With President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill clearing the Senate, millions of Americans are one step closer to receiving much-needed help. The bill includes those $1,400 stimulus checks for individuals making up to $75,000 per year, $300 a week in federal unemployment benefits, an expansion of the child tax credit, and tens of billions of dollars in funding for vaccines, schools, and state and local governments.
This plan gives those families who are struggling the most the help and the breathing room they need to get through this moment.
No Senate Republicans voted for the bill, arguing the price tag is too high. But a new ABC News Ipsos poll shows 68% of Americans support the president's handling of the pandemic, including 35% of Republicans. A majority of Americans also says it's too soon to start loosening restrictions like mask mandates.
You simply do not celebrate a fumble in the end zone.
Texas's mask order is set to end Wednesday, and large gatherings in some states over the weekend are raising alarms about a possible spike in coronavirus cases.
So it kind of gives us a sense of like back to normalcy.
Scenes like this in Florida, which has more cases of the UK variant than any other state. And in Atlanta, crowds celebrating the NBA All-Star Weekend, even though the game was closed to the public.
Given how close we are to the finish line, anybody who gets infected today and dies in 3 or 4 weeks is somebody who would have gotten vaccinated a month from now. This is why it's urgent to just keep going for a little bit longer.
Now, the House is expected to narrowly pass the COVID relief bill in a vote tomorrow. That keeps it on track to get to President Biden's desk by March 14th, when federal unemployment benefits are set to expire. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
And a heads up, if you are looking to book a vaccine appointment here in Bexar County, Metro Health says it will open up 10,000 vaccine appointments tonight. The appointments are for the vaccination site at the Alamo Dome. You can schedule yours starting at 6 this evening. Just go to the city's website. Metro Health says if you don't have internet access, you can call 311 and choose option 8 for help setting up that appointment. Anyone in the 1A or 1B phase of vaccine distribution can register, as well as teachers and school and child care staff. We've got a link to the website and more information on KSAT.com. And the WellMed vaccine hotline is back open. You can call the number on your screen to schedule an appointment. It is 833-968-1745. These shots will be administered at the Elvira Cisneros or the Alicia Trevino Lopez Senior Centers. The hotline will be open every day until 8 in the morning, from 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening, until all shots are full.
Millions of Americans around the country dealing with unemployment, but Texas is making steps to begin the reopening process, and there is now a new local initiative to get people back to work. Max Massey explains there's a new partnership between Workforce Solutions, Alamo, San Antonio Works, and Brooks.
It's hard. Personally, I feel more of what the hardship that they're going through because my own family is experiencing it as well. I have close friends, neighbors, so we are putting ourselves in their position.
Lizette Rivera is one of the employees here working to get people back to work.
Unfortunately, over the course of the last 12 months through the pandemic, lost about 350,000+ jobs in this particular region. That's a 13-county region.
Now, Workforce Solutions Alamo is teaming up with Brooks and San Antonio Works to get as many people in and around our community back on their feet as possible.
This initiative is one of many initiatives that we are spearheading in relation to our sector-based model, working in conjunction with many of the sectors that are producing jobs as the economy starts to open.
And if you're looking for a job, here's how you can get involved.
We have a job fair that's a great opportunity that's coming up. The job fair is March 24th from 9 to 2 p.m. It's a virtual job fair because unfortunately we're still kind of in these circumstances where we have to kind of balance the safety of our clients with our employers.
And we know a lot of people in and around San Antonio, they're not so comfortable with the technological aspect, but that's what these computers here are for.
This is where we come into play. We will come in and show them exactly where it is that they need to register, and we'll go from there.
We plan to cover this job fair extensively over the next couple of weeks, but the date to remember right now, March 24th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Make sure to stay with us online and on air as more information and more opportunities become available. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Now to some late-breaking news to us from the east side. A heavy police presence there near WW White Road and Lulamay Drive.
Police say that they have caught a robbery suspect. North Patrol says that a man robbed someone at gunpoint, then tried to take his truck. During that incident, police say shots were fired.
Then officers got another call with similar information. In that incident, the suspect got into a truck and fled and then crashed.
Police say that the suspect tried to steal an 18-wheeler. An officer spotted him on the east side and he was arrested. All of this information just now coming out with a news conference from the Sheriff's Department. We do have some information that the suspect did get some injuries and was taken to the hospital.
Still coming up this half hour.
It's more of a spring-like forecast this week, and we could eventually see some thunderstorms. We'll show you that 7-day forecast coming up.
And NBA All-Star Weekend turned into NBA All-Star Nights. As you would expect, the game was nothing but scoring, more scoring. Some impressive highlights, though, we've gotten for you coming up in sports.
Jury selection beginning in a trial that's already gotten a lot of attention. The former Minneapolis police officer who pressed his knee into George Floyd's neck is now on trial. The latest after the break. The fate of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, who pressed his knee into George Floyd's neck while he was saying he couldn't breathe, will be decided by 12 residents of Hennepin County. As Alex Presha reports, there's been a delay in the jury selection.
Jury selection now on hold in the high-stakes trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer charged with murdering George Floyd. Razor wire, fencing, and barricades around the courthouse, and inside the courtroom, strict COVID restrictions. Just one member each from both Floyd and Chauvin's families are allowed in at a time. The trial's also being live streamed. This morning, Chauvin seen inside in a blue suit and black mask, listening attentively, taking notes on a yellow legal pad. He's facing second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter charges, accused of killing Floyd by kneeling on his neck for more than 9 minutes, pleading not guilty. The case widely publicized because of video, which will now impact jury selection.
They are going to be looking for jurors who, no matter what they've seen, read, or heard, can still keep an open mind.
Selecting the 12 jurors and 4 alternates in this case expected to take 3 weeks. Prosecutors and defense attorneys using a multi-page questionnaire asking candidates things like what they know about the case from media reports. Breaking this morning, Chauvin's defense now appealing to the Minnesota Supreme Court over reinstating a third-degree murder charge after a court of appeals ruled that the judge in this case must reconsider it.
If the third-degree murder charge is reinstated, that provides prosecutors with a murder charge where they still don't necessarily have to prove that he intended to kill George Floyd.
The prosecution arguing that should delay jury selection.
So this court would be making decisions about jurors for a trial about which we don't know what the exact charges are going to be yet.
The judge has ruled it can go forward, but prosecutors are appealing that decision. The most severe charge that Chauvin faces, that second-degree murder, comes with a maximum sentence of 40 years. However, experts say that because of Minnesota's sentencing guidelines, in a case like this, it's more between about 10 and 15 years. Alex Presha, ABC News, Minneapolis.
Outside with live cam, we were at the zoo for the 9 o'clock show this morning, and it was raining. I mean, legitimate rain. It lasted about that long, but I got wet. Yeah, almost melted.
I saw you had your coat on. It was a little chilly earlier. The sun's starting to pop out, though. We're going to get some warmer temperatures this afternoon. The aquifer down 0.2 of a foot to 661 even. And your pollen count? High counts or moderate counts of mold, I should say. 720 pine, juniper, mulberry. All low. It's going to be mostly cloudy this week. We do have some rain chances, especially as we get into the weekend. We'll talk all about it coming up.
There's the Oscars, there's the Grammys,
and there are
and then they are the other Grammys.
The other Grammys.
The other Grammys are. Look at that. Hold that award up. This is.
You guys wanted to show it. Here we go.
We do. That is our leader, Emily Barr. It's a bobblehead, and Justin honored for his weather story during the aftermath of the hurricane.
Hurricane Laura.
Hurricane Laura, and you'll remember it because there was an alpaca walking down a Texas street.
That's what did it.
Yeah.
That won you an award. That got you a Grammy.
Thank you very much.
And that footage that you guys shot went national. It was all over the nation.
That was
you
a
made
wild
us
time.
famous.
Wild time, yes. So thank you very much. These awards are given out through our company, Graham Media, and very nice to be
well
honored.
deserved. Justin did a great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
We still think you should have won for the one where you almost got electrocuted by the.
Okay, yeah. It was a ways back.
I know, but it looked very exciting.
You skirted death on that one.
I don't know about that.
You'll never live that down.
Probably not. Let's go back in history. Let's go back a lot farther than Hurricane Laura. Let's talk about 1915. Did you guys know it was on this day in 1915 that San Antonio saw its latest ever snow, meaning latest in the season? It was March 8th, 1915. We got about 1 to 2 inches here in San Antonio. That is the latest snowfall on record, going way back in time there. No snow on the map today, thankfully. I think we're good with snow this year. I think we've seen enough. The rainfall, we did see a couple of showers. David mentioned that earlier, very light showers. In fact, a lot of these are hard to pick up on radar, but they are there. Some very light stuff moving through. And this is going to be the case much of this week. We'll see some showers here and there, but nothing that's going to add up to too much. Take a look at the time lapse. We saw the sun briefly this morning, then the clouds filled in, And we were cloudy for a time. Now we're mostly cloudy. Starting to see a little bit of blue showing up here and there. And the more blue skies we see, the warmer these temperatures are going to get. 62 right now. Easterly winds at about 9. Dew point is at 49. That number is on the rise. As you look at the satellite picture here, still a nice swath of some low clouds working north to New Braunfels. You're still cloudy. Eastern part of Bexar County, you're still cloudy, but some breaks out west and seeing quite a bit of sun. In fact, if you're in the western part of San Antonio at this hour. 68 in Hondo, partly cloudy. 68 Castroville. 61 still cloudy at Randolph, and 63 cloudy at Seguin. So you can see what the clouds are doing for the temperatures, where there's more sun. 71 right now in Pleasanton, 70 Creosote Springs. Warm spot down there in Cotulla, as it usually is, 74 degrees there. Dew points on the rise. We're seeing dew points near 50 now. The air is going to get more humid as we go forward in time, so it's going to start to become pretty sticky here. Dew points, in fact, will jump up into the 60s, into the muggy category as early as Wednesday. And looking at the forecast temperature today, we should be up around 70 for a high. Some places in the low to mid 70s a little bit later this afternoon. So it'll be a fairly warm day. As we look at the big picture here, you can see the cloud cover, and it really follows our winds here that are coming off the Gulf of Mexico, that it's bringing in all of that moisture, and that's as a result putting down or allowing for cloud cover to develop. We've got one storm system that's working through the middle part of the country. This does nothing for us, doesn't bring us any rain, but the one behind it, this will be our next rainmaker, set to arrive this weekend. And as it does, it should help to create some thunderstorms, but it's going to take its time getting here. It really takes until Saturday before we really feel the energy from this. So out ahead of it, it's just going to be mostly cloudy and humid, as we mentioned. But by Saturday, we should have enough lift to get some thunderstorms going. I think our best chance, our best window will be Saturday night into Sunday morning. We could even see a few strong storms. That's possible, but we've got some time to watch that. As we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to hone in on that. Temperatures in the upper 60s today. South-southeasterly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And looking at the extended forecast, we'll go 75 tomorrow, 79 Wednesday, close to 80, in fact, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And a humid stray shower here and there. But if we're going to see any measurable significant rain, it will be, looks like, late Saturday into Sunday, as we also officially spring forward. Can't wait for that, guys.
Well, I was about to say that looks like some pretty good spring weather right there.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Are we springing forward early? This year, yeah, that's one of your pet peeves. The late Kobe Bryant honored last night's All-Star game. Got that for you coming up, and not quite the same, but they got in the game, and they got in other contests as well. Some impressive performances on the way. And before the All-Star game last night, there were a few adjustments. New Orleans Pelicans forward Zion Williamson replaced Joel Embiid as a starter on the team for the 2021 All-Star game. Embiid out for contract tracing. According to the NBA rules, if an All-Star was unable to participate in the game after the All-Star draft, then the head coach of the All-Star team got to name the replacement. In this case, Doc Rivers went with Zion. First quarter, Team LeBron putting on a show thanks to Steph Curry. The no-look pass to Nikola Jokic for the slam and 1-point lead. Reigning MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo goes between the legs not once but twice. And then he takes off near the free throw line for the lay-in. Team LeBron up 2016. Some nerves for the young Zion Williamson. Oops. A little short on that one. One of 3 missed dunks in the first quarter. Luka Doncic comes up with the rebound, and on the other end finds Curry wide open. Corner 3. Doesn't even look at it. Knew it was good. A few minutes later, Curry drains a triple from mid-court. All of that, but Team LeBron wins the first quarter by just 1, 40-39. Second quarter, Zion finally getting his. He finishes off the pass from Kyrie Irving for the jam. Team Durant up 61-55. Team LeBron owns the final 2 minutes of the half thanks to the point guards. Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, and Chris Paul all finished with lobs with alley-oop slam dunks. Small guys playing big. Paul's dunk caps 21-2 run. Then in the last 20 seconds, Lillard and Curry have a mini three-point shooting contest. First Lillard mid-court. That was from 43 away. And then after that, you saw Steph Curry step up. Oh, I can do that too. Look at that. Yeah, see, they need a 4-point shot, I guess. 43-footer from the logo. LeBron running away with it. His team 180 at the half. Third quarter, Team Durant trying to rally. Kyrie Irving backs in for the mid-range jumper. That cuts the lead to 14. But the story quickly becomes Antetokounmpo. The Bucks' big man started the game hitting his first 15 shots, a run that included this hook in the lane. With the streak on the line, he pulls up and banks the long 3-ball. Ow. 35 points, going a perfect 16 for 16 from the floor. Mike Conley playing his first career All-Star game, keeps Team Durant in it. The three, then in the final seconds of the quarter, Donovan Mitchell, a triple. Team LeBron wins yet another quarter, 46-45. At the end of the third, Team LeBron had 146 points, so they added 24 to that score in honor of the late Kobe Bryant. They need 170 to win. It doesn't take them long to reach that mark. Jaylen Brown drains the triple, gets fouled. He hit the free throw to complete the 4-point play. Team LeBron now 17 points away from the win, and Lillard takes over down the stretch. The Trailblazers guard scored Team LeBron's last 11, including the 40-footer, to clinch the win. Lillard finished with 32, 8 3-pointers, but it wasn't enough to outshine Giannis, who was named the game's MVP. And there's your final, 170 to 150. No defense at all. MVP, Antetokounmpo, 16 of 16 for 35 points, along with 7 rebounds. All right, usually the skills competition is held on a Saturday, but with no fans in attendance, might as well put everything on the same day of All-Star Weekend. First up was the skills competition. The final was between Magic's Nikola Vucevic and the Pacers' Domantas Sabonis. And the first one to get through the course and then nail the three was the winner. That would be Sabonis, becoming the first Pacer to win the Taco Bell Skills Challenge. Next up with the three-point contest, of course, the Warrior Steph Curry shined. He scored 28 points in the final round, making his last money ball shot to beat the Utah's Mike Conley with 27 points. This marks the second time that Steph Curry has won the Mountain Dew three-point contest. He becomes the 7th player in NBA history to win multiple three-point contests. And Pacers
has not had a dunk in an NBA game. Yeah, this counts. It is 2 field goals. I know. Yo, Kenny, this is going to decide home ball for. Hold on.
Yeah, you like that dunk? Only 9 total points on the season, yet he had one of the best dunks of the night, but he didn't advance. Only 3 dunkers in this year's AT&T Slam Dunk Contest, 2 dunks each in the first round. The 2 players with the highest scores advanced to the second and final round. The Knicks' Obi Toppin had some nice slams, but one of his final ones had him dunking over 2 men. One was his father. And then there's that dunk. The night belonged to 6'3" Blazer Anthony Simmons. He wore the throwback to Tracy McGrady and reenacted his dunk, but the one that won it all, kissing the rim before throwing it down. The first Trailblazer to win the slam dunk contest. Almost, I mean, look at that. That's like right there. You might want to not kiss the rim. You can end up with a few missing teeth.
I think he learned that from Justin. Justin taught him all that.
How to get up, slam it down. Justin got some ups. Hey, Justin got rewards too. So, you know.
After battling COVID-19, some people are ready to get up and get going. However, doctors say jumping back into your exercise routine might be dangerous if you don't do it the right way. Coming up next in the next half hour, how rushing normalcy could delay your recovery.
Working, learning, and gaming online. The last thing you want is a poor Wi-Fi connection. That's where Wi-Fi 6 comes in. It's technology that promises faster downloads, less buffering, and a secure connection. Coming up today at 5, what you need to know and how it works and what's compatible. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is on the defense, facing allegations of inappropriate behavior and an investigation into alleged underreporting of COVID-19 nursing home deaths. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is reiterating that he will not resign even after accusations of inappropriate behavior and that he created a toxic work environment. Top state Democrats are urging for his resignation. Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins declaring, "We need to govern without daily distraction. For the good of the state, Governor Cuomo must resign." But the 3-time governor is making one thing clear: he will not resign. The growing calls for him to step down come after more allegations of inappropriate behavior by the governor, including from former aides. And what former staffers tell the Washington Post was a hostile, toxic workplace environment. Karen Hinton, who worked with Cuomo in the 90s when he was Bill Clinton's housing secretary, now telling the paper Cuomo invited her to his hotel room after a work event in 2000, allegedly embracing her intimately. Cuomo is denying all of those allegations, and the governor says that it would be anti-democratic of him to resign before the state attorney general completes the investigation into those allegations. Cuomo also says he will not be distracted from the work that needs to be done by this or by political differences he may have with individuals calling on him to step down. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, New York.
With another stimulus package in sight, Democrats are now debating filibuster changes. Senator Joe Manchin says he wants to retain a procedural hurdle that is known as that filibuster, and that major legislation should always have minority party input. Manchin suggests there should be or could be ways to loosen the current requirement of 60 senators to allow for the passage of bills. President Joe Biden's latest executive order aims to provide gender equity. The first will establish the White House Gender Policy Council. The new group is going to be tasked with combating systemic bias, including sexual harassment. It'll also work to decrease wage gaps and address the caregiving needs of families. The Biden administration says the pandemic has impacted women disproportionately as they have exited the workforce in order to care for their families, and particularly women of color. The second executive order will direct the Department of Education to ensure students are safe from sexual violence. These executive orders come on International Women's Day today.
A tent camp has been torn down in Matamoros, Mexico. The camp housed hundreds of migrants who were required to stay in Mexico until their immigration court date in the U.S. This comes after changes were made by the Biden administration. The Department of Homeland Security says the last remaining migrants in the camp are being relocated to more secure locations. It says over 25,000 migrants are still waiting to know whether they will be allowed entry into the United States.
Looking outside with live cam. Pretty good looking day. Some clouds out there. I guess we're in for what should feel like spring all week.
You're exactly right, Ursula. It's going to be a spring-like week in the sense that we'll start off with cloud cover, maybe get a little bit of drizzle, a sprinkly shower here and there, and then some sun during the afternoon. It'll be warmer, more humid, and then maybe some thunderstorms eventually down the line as we get into the weekend. Let's look at the radar right now. It's pretty clear. We've had a couple showers here and there, some very light returns, but nothing that has given us much in the way of measurable rain. Temperature-wise, 60 Boulevardy, 62 Comfort, 70 already in Castroville, 71 in Pleasanton. Some of our warmer readings there, but we'll get close to 70 here in San Antonio. The clouds starting to thin out a little bit here around San Antonio. In fact, we're seeing a nice little clearing line right there, but clouds will fill in behind that, so it will still be a partly to mostly cloudy day as we get into the afternoon. If you're visiting San Antonio for spring break, welcome. And you can expect some warm temperatures, as I mentioned, as we get towards the middle part of the week. 79 by Wednesday, just a slight chance of a shower here or there, but a great week to be out and about here in San Antonio. And we'll talk more about those rain chances over the weekend coming up here in just a few minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. London and the world reacting to the revelations from the Oprah Winfrey interview involving the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. ABC's Julia McFarland has more.
It's all anyone is talking about on this side of the pond. Britain's reeling from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's explosive allegations that the British royal family had concerns about the colour of baby Archie's skin before his birth.
There is a conversation. Hold up.
There are several conversations.
There's a conversation with you,
with Harry,
about how dark your baby is going to be.
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
This morning, Oprah revealing that Harry had told her the family member behind that conversation about Archie's skin was not the Queen or Prince Philip. Meghan also claiming that the stresses of royal life led her to suicidal thoughts, and that despite her pleas, the family denied her any mental health support. Harry also telling his side of the story after reports last year that his and Meghan's decision to quit royal life was not shared with the Queen in advance, bringing into focus that at the heart of all this royal drama is a family fracturing. Harry sharing details on the rift between him and his father, Prince Charles. There was, however, some good news. Harry and Meghan revealing the sex of their unborn child.
It's a go.
That was ABC's Julia McFarland reporting. If you missed the 2-hour interview last night, you can read about it right now on KSAT.com. Just go to the entertainment tab.
After battling COVID-19, some patients may be eager to get their lives back to normal, and that may include exercise. Why doctors say it's best to take it slow. Still ahead.
Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey putting his first ever tweet up for sale. How much cash it's expected to fetch. After the break.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather. Streaming free on KSAT TV.
Hello, everyone. This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar. Some California theme parks will reopen for business next month. California officials announcing on Friday that most of their Southern California theme parks can reopen starting April the 1st with very reduced capacity. The move will include Disney parks. This marks a big step for the industry, which has been mostly closed since the pandemic erupted just a year ago. Meanwhile, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey is putting up his first ever tweet for sale, and it's expected to fetch millions. Dorsey's selling the tweet as a non-fungible token, or NFT, which is basically a unique piece of digital information. NFTs work off the Ethereum blockchain and can be traded like baseball cards or any other collectible. The first tweet came out in 2006 with Dorsey writing, quote, "Just setting up my Twitter." And Tesla announcing an expansion of their full self-driving beta software, nearly doubling the number of participants involved. The software update being tested is seen as a major step forward for the automaker in delivering on their longtime promise of making their vehicles fully autonomous. And that's your Cheddar Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado, coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
After battling COVID-19, some people are eager to get back to their old routines. However, doctors say jumping back into exercise could be dangerous if you don't do it the right way. As Stephanie Cerna tells us, it's important to ease back into those old routines.
It doesn't matter how fit you were before you had COVID-19. It affects everyone differently, and it doesn't matter about your fitness level. So I want people to really ease back into activity, be patient, listen to your body.
Dr. Marie Schaefer, a sports medicine specialist with Cleveland Clinic, says people need to make sure all of their symptoms have gone away before working out again. Otherwise, they run the risk of delaying the recovery, or even worse, causing long-term tissue damage in their body. She says doctors are particularly worried about myocarditis, which is inflammation of the heart muscle and can be deadly for some. Her advice, wait 10 days before heading back to the gym and take it slow. You don't want to jump right back in where you left off. Instead, start with a short walk. If that feels okay, try a light jog the next day. She says it's important to ease back into activity.
Allow your body time to rest, recover, hydrate, feed it the appropriate nutrition so that you can truly heal. And then after that 10-day window, if you only had those mild or no symptoms at all, that's when you can consider returning to exercise or activity. You need to make sure all of your symptoms have completely resolved and that you're feeling 100% back to your normal self.
Stephanie Cerna, KSAT 12 News.
Dr. Schaefer says people who had moderate or severe symptoms of COVID-19 or who were hospitalized for the virus need to be especially careful. She says they should consult with their doctor before doing any kind of strenuous activity.
Great week to get out and work on that COVID-19 pounds that you might have gained.
Wow. Yeah, well, this morning it was great. It was in the 40s. I mean, that's good running weather. I think there'll be some decent mornings coming up, although it gets a little more humid as we go forward in time. Feels a little bit more like spring, especially as we work towards the weekend. So far today, we're up to 62. We'll jump higher than that this afternoon. We'll actually be pretty close to the average. Our average low was almost spot on, 48 this morning. Records are 90 and 26, set back in 1918 and 1947. We'll look ahead to some thunderstorm chances coming up.
NASA released video of the first ever drive on the surface of Mars by its Perseverance rover. Perseverance landed on Mars on February 18th, accomplishing the riskiest step yet in the quest to bring back rocks that could answer the question of whether life ever existed on Mars. A photo from the video showed wheel tracks from the rover on the surface of Mars, and an engineer for the mission says this is the biggest milestone for the mission and their team.
You can tell it's spring break because even though it was a little chilly this morning and there was like a hint of rain in the air, people were still showing up to like the zoo and other places.
Oh, you were at the zoo this morning.
Yeah, we were out there this morning. They were coming, man. It's like, it's spring break. We're getting out of the house. We're going somewhere. Doing something.
I can tell by the traffic that's out there that people are going to be out and about for spring break. And, you know, the weather's going to cooperate for the most part, guys. We'll see some cloud cover here and there, but no big rain events, at least this work week. And the temperatures will be pretty comfortable. We actually do need some rain, though. You look at the percent of normal. This is over the last 365 days. What does this number mean? 77%. Well, if you took the average and we got as much rain as the average, we'd have 100% of normal. You can tell that we're below average at 77%. Those places that are above 100%, that's where they are above average. Places like Dallas, Tyler, Waco, down to Houston. But West Texas and really most of South Texas in desperate need of rain. And we show you the last 365 days because I think that's more telling because we ended last year and spent most of last year needing rain as well. So that's where we stand. There is going to be some rain in the forecast coming up this weekend. Meantime, it was a little chilly this morning. 48 degrees to start, 44 in New Braunfels, 42 in Kerrville, 50 in Uvalde. We'll see these morning lows really moderate next few days, so we'll start getting morning lows in the 60s. It's going to feel more like March out there for sure. And we did have some pretty thick cloud cover earlier. Now seeing some blue sky out there, and that is helping temperatures. 62 now at the airport. Easterly winds at about 9 miles per hour. A lot of places starting to get close to 70 now, especially in southern Bexar County, Pleasanton, Castroville. 68 now in Hondo, 62 up there in Comfort, and 71 in Del Rio, 70 in Gonzales. Dew point tracker. Steady rise here in dew points. We've got dew points in the 50s now. They jump into the 60s late in the week, so it starts to get muggy. It's not until Sunday that those dew points fall back off again. And we've got a good southeasterly wind, which you can almost see the moisture here with the cloud cover as these southeasterly winds draw in that moisture even into North Texas now, out ahead of a little storm system that's moving through New Mexico and parts of Colorado. That'll bring some rain there, but I really don't think it has an impact on us here other than drawing in some high clouds. Our next storm system is up there across the Pacific Northwest. It takes its sweet time getting here, moves in around California, works across the Intermountain West, takes several days, but by Saturday into Sunday, that's when we start to see the lift. We should start to see some showers. I think on Saturday it's probably just some isolated activity, and then by Saturday night into Sunday morning, we're talking about some thunderstorms potentially, and we'll be on the tail end of things, but I think we have a decent chance, about a 40% shot at some thunderstorms. Meantime, forecast for today, 68 degrees, 3 o'clock, 69 at 5 o'clock, and then falling back into the 60s and eventually 50s by tomorrow morning. We'll start off at 58 on your Tuesday, 75, 79 Wednesday, near 80 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and there's your 40% chance of rain Saturday night into Sunday. We'll be right back.